You walk into the department store. A woman behind the beauty counter tilts her head, looks at your skin under those fluorescent lights, and reaches for a small glass bottle behind the display. Dark spot correcting serum, she says. $95. You buy it because the spots on your cheeks and your forehead have been getting darker for years, and maybe this time, this one will work. 6 weeks later, nothing. The spots look the same, so you try the $120 one from the dermatologist's office. Then the $65 one your friend swore by, and one by one they join the graveyard of half-used bottles under your bathroom sink. Now I want you to sit with that for a moment. There is a paste that Korean grandmothers have been mixing in their kitchens for longer than any of these skincare companies have existed. 3 ingredients you can buy at a grocery store, about $3 to make enough for a full month. But here is the part that should bother you. It does something to age spots that most of those expensive serums cannot. My name is Minji. I am 51 years old and I have been a professional makeup artist for 30 years, first in Seoul and then in New York. My grandmother in Busan had the most beautiful, even skin of any woman I have ever known, and she never spent more than a few dollars a month on skincare her entire life. She used the paste I'm about to show you today. She mixed it in a small ceramic bowl in her kitchen, the same bowl every time, and she put it on her face 3 or 4 times a week until the day she passed at 89 with skin that women half her age would have paid thousands to have. Today I am going to tell you what this paste is, how to make it, the way to use it so it actually works, the mistakes that ruin it, and the honest things it cannot do. And then I want to talk about the one step after the paste where I see women over 50 lose everything they have gained and how to fix it, because the paste is only half the answer. Let me start with what this paste actually is, because once you understand the ingredient, the rest of the video makes simple sense. It starts with rice bran. In Korean, we call it migang. It is the thin outer layer of the rice grain, the part that gets polished away when they make white rice. In Korea, this is one of the cheapest things at the market. You can buy a bag of it at any Asian grocery store, any health food shop, or order it online for a couple of dollars. It looks like a fine, tan-colored powder. Nothing fancy about it at all. The second ingredient is the cloudy white water you get when you rinse raw rice before cooking. In Korea, every grandmother saves this water. We call it sal do mul. You pour dry rice into a bowl, add water, swirl it around with your hand, and that milky water you pour off is full of the same nutrients that were sitting on the outside of the grain. You mix the rice bran with enough of this milky rice water to make a soft paste, about the thickness of Greek yogurt, and that is the whole thing. Some women add a small spoonful of raw honey to help it stick to the skin and add moisture, but the base is just those 2 ingredients. It looks like pale oatmeal in the bowl. It smells like almost nothing. It feels soft and slightly gritty on your fingers. Now, here is why something this plain can work on dark spots, and this is the part that makes it all make sense. Rice bran contains a natural compound called kojic acid. If you have ever flipped over any expensive brightening serum and squinted at the ingredients list, you have probably seen that name. Kojic acid is one of the few ingredients dermatologists actually agree works on hyperpigmentation. What it does is simple to understand. It interrupts the process your skin uses to produce melanin, which is the pigment that creates dark spots. When melanin production slows down in a specific area, the existing dark spot gradually fades as your skin turns over and replaces itself with new cells. But rice bran does not stop at kojic acid. It also contains ferulic acid, an antioxidant that helps protect the skin from the very sun damage that caused the spots in the first place. And it contains something called gamma-oryzanol, a compound that Korean and Japanese researchers have studied for decades as a natural skin brightener and soother. Think of it this way. The kojic acid slows down the factory making the dark pigment. The ferulic acid shields your skin from further damage, and the gamma-oryzanol evens things out at the surface. 3 compounds working together from one ingredient that costs less than a cup of coffee. That is why Korean grandmothers were not layering 10 products. They had one paste, and it was doing the work of several serums at once. And that is just the science behind it. The list of what this paste actually helps with is longer than you might expect. It works on sunspots, those flat brown patches that show up on the cheeks, the forehead, the temples, and the backs of the hands, the ones that multiply every summer and never quite go away. It works on the darker patches of melasma that many women develop during pregnancy or after menopause, when hormones shift and the skin produces pigment unevenly. It works on the general dullness that comes with skin in your 50s and 60s, when cell turnover slows and everything starts looking flat and tired no matter how much moisturizer you use. It helps with rough, uneven texture, those dry patches that make your skin feel like sandpaper. And one of the things I notice most on my clients is the overall tone. After a few weeks of consistent use, the skin just looks more alive, more even, not lighter, not bleached, just more like itself on a good day. In Korean beauty philosophy, we have a word for this. We call it gwang, which roughly means a healthy inner glow, not shimmer from a highlighter, not dewy from a primer, the look of skin that is actually healthy underneath, and that shows through whatever makeup you put on top. But I want to be the kind of straight with you that these product companies never are, so let me tell you what this paste cannot do, because I will not have you expecting a miracle and feeling crushed when it arrives slowly. It is slow. This is not an overnight fix, and it is not a weekend treatment. You will not smear this on your face on Tuesday and wake up Friday with the spots gone. That is not how skin works. Your skin replaces itself roughly every 4 weeks when you are younger, and that slows down after menopause. You are looking at 3 to 6 weeks of consistent use before you see a real visible difference in the spots. Some lighter spots fade faster. Deeper, darker spots can take 2 or 3 months of patience. It will not do anything about deep wrinkles or sagging. This is a brightener and a texture smoother. It is not a facelift in a bowl, and anyone who tells you a topical paste tightens loose skin is selling you something. Sun exposure will undo every bit of progress. Every bit. If you use this paste faithfully for weeks and then walk around without sunscreen, you are wasting your time. The sun creates new melanin faster than the paste can slow it down. Sunscreen is not a suggestion here. It is the other half of the equation. And for severe, deep hyperpigmentation or any spot that is raised or changing shape, please see a dermatologist. The paste is a beauty tool for everyday age spots and sun damage on skin that has lived a full life. It is not a medical treatment for anything that worries you. Now pay attention to this next part, because getting it wrong is the most common mistake I see women make when they first try this. There is one detail about choosing your rice bran that matters. You want raw, unroasted, food-grade rice bran. Some stores sell toasted or roasted rice bran for cooking, and that is fine for sprinkling on cereal, but the heat has destroyed some of the active compounds you need. The bag should say raw or unprocessed. The color should be a soft tan. If it looks dark brown, it has been toasted, and you should leave it on the shelf. Rice bran also goes rancid faster than regular flour because of the natural oils in it. When you open the bag, smell it. It should have a faint, clean, nutty smell. If it smells sour or sharp, throw it out. Store your bag in the refrigerator after opening to keep it fresh. A bag lasts about 6 weeks in the fridge before the oils start to turn. Fresh rice bran, raw, untoasted, smelling clean. That is what you want every time. Now let me walk you through exactly how to make this and use it, step by step, because the application is the difference between results and wasted effort. Start by saving your rice water. The next time you cook rice for dinner, put a cup of dry white rice in a bowl, cover it with water, swirl it around with your clean hand for about 30 seconds, and pour that milky water into a clean jar. Cap it and let it sit in the refrigerator overnight. By morning, the water will be slightly thicker and more concentrated. That is your base liquid. To make the paste, put about 2 tablespoons of raw rice bran into a small clean bowl. Add just enough of the cold rice water to form a paste about the consistency of Greek yogurt, not runny like a drink, not stiff like clay. If you want extra moisture, stir in half a teaspoon of raw honey, but it works without it. Wash your face first with a gentle cleanser. Pat it dry with a clean towel. Then spread the paste onto your skin with clean fingers, focusing on the areas where you have spots, uneven tone, or rough texture. You can put it over your whole face or just target the problem areas. Leave it on for 15 to 20 minutes. It will feel cool and slightly gritty at first, then dry down slowly as it sits. Rinse it off with lukewarm water, gently. Do not scrub at your skin. Pat dry and follow with your regular moisturizer. Do this 3 to 4 times a week, not once a week, which is not enough. Not every single day, which can over-irritate. 3 to 4 times gives your skin time to respond between applications. Now here is what to expect, because knowing the timeline keeps you from giving up too early. The first time you put this paste on your face, it will feel like nothing is happening. It sits there quietly, dries down a bit, and you rinse it off thinking that was a waste of 15 minutes. That is normal. The work is happening underneath, at the level where your skin makes pigment. You cannot see it yet. By the end of the first week, your skin will feel smoother when you run your fingers across your cheek. That is the texture shift arriving first. By the second or third week, you will notice your skin looks a little brighter in the morning before you put anything on. And then one day around week 4 or 5, you will lean into your bathroom mirror to check a spot, and it will be just slightly lighter at the edges, just a little less defined. That is when you know the paste keeps in the refrigerator for about 3 days. After that, make a fresh batch. It takes 2 minutes. A few honest words about safety, because I will not skip this part. Patch test first. Every time you open a new bag of rice bran, put a small amount of the paste on the inside of your wrist or behind your ear and wait 24 hours. Some people have a sensitivity to rice-based skincare. It is uncommon, but it does happen, and you want to know before it is all over your face. Do not put this paste on broken skin, open blemishes, or raw irritated areas. It is gentle, but the slight grit on damaged skin will sting and make things worse instead of better. And I will say it one final time because it matters that much. Wear sunscreen every single morning after you start using this paste. SPF 30 or higher, broad spectrum, rain or shine, summer or winter. The paste works to slow down melanin production. The sun works to crank it right back up. Skip the sunscreen and you are running on a treadmill. Lots of effort, getting nowhere. If you are getting something from this, hit subscribe. I talk about real skincare and real makeup for women whose skin has actually lived every single week. Now, here is the part I really want to talk to you about, because this is where I have watched women throw away everything they gained. You have been using the paste for a few weeks. Your skin is smoother, the tone is more even. You look in the mirror in the morning and something is different. Better, you look healthier than you have in years. And then you reach into your makeup bag and put on the same foundation you have been wearing since before menopause. And within 2 hours, you look worse than you did barefaced. I have seen this happen hundreds of times. The skin is actually good underneath, but the foundation is working against it at every level. Foundation that was designed for younger skin sits completely differently on skin in your 50s and 60s. After menopause, the oils change, the moisture changes, the texture changes. A foundation built for smooth, plump, well-hydrated skin will grab onto every dry patch, settle into every fine line around your mouth and your eyes, and oxidize to that awful orange tone on your cheeks by lunchtime. You know exactly what I am talking about. You put it on in the morning thinking you look decent. You catch yourself in the rearview mirror at noon, and there is this heavy mask sitting on top of your face that looks nothing like your actual skin. I have tried every foundation marketed for mature skin across my 30-year career. The expensive French ones, the drugstore standbys, the ones with over 40 right on the label. They were either too thick and cakey, which made every wrinkle look deeper, or too thin and sheer, which covered nothing at all. This is why the only foundation I put on my clients over 50 is Luxe Color Changing Foundation. It adapts to your individual skin tone as you blend it in, so there is no oxidizing orange by noon, and it does not settle into fine lines or cling to dry patches the way traditional foundations do. When I apply it on top of skin that has been treated with the rice bran paste, That is the moment women in my chair go quiet for a second. They forgot their skin could look like that. It is currently a bestseller on Amazon, and it is cheaper there than anywhere else I have found, so I will put that link below for you. Now I want to take a moment with you because this part keeps me up at night after 3 decades in this industry. Think about what we just walked through together. A paste made from rice bran and rice water, ingredients that cost almost nothing, using knowledge Korean grandmothers have been quietly passing down for generations. It actually fades age spots. It actually smooths texture. It works slowly and honestly, without synthetic chemicals, without prescriptions, without monthly office visits. And the average woman over 50 spends well over $300 a year on dark spot serums alone. Not counting the rest of her skincare, the dermatologist visits, or the $40 foundations that look terrible on her by noon. So why does almost nobody know about the paste? The answer is the same boring answer it always is. There is no money in a $3 solution you make in your kitchen. You cannot build a luxury brand around rice bran from the grocery store. You cannot charge $95 for something a woman can mix herself in 2 minutes with her bare hands. So nobody runs a commercial for it. No influencer gets a brand deal for rice water. No beauty counter associate is going to hand you a bag of rice bran and tell you good luck, you are set for the year. The knowledge stayed in the kitchens. It stayed with the grandmothers. The women who knew kept using it quietly, looking a decade younger than everyone around them, and nobody in the industry had any reason to point at them and ask why. In Korea, we say the best skincare is the kind your grandmother would recognize. She would not recognize a serum in a glass dropper with gold lettering. She would recognize a bowl of rice bran paste, clean skin, sunscreen, and a foundation that lets your face look like a face. You are being told now. So here is what I want you to do this week. Find an Asian grocery store or a health food shop or order online and pick up a bag of raw food-grade rice bran. Save your rice water the next time you cook. Mix the paste, do your patch test, and start using it 3 to 4 times a week. Be patient. Give your skin a full month before you judge it. And if your foundation has been settling into every crease and turning the wrong shade by lunch, try Luxe on top of your treated skin. It is the same foundation I use on every client over 50 in my chair, and it is what I put on my own face every single morning. The Amazon link is below. Tell me in the comments what your biggest frustration has been with your skin after 50. The spots, the settling foundation, the dryness, the drawer full of products that promised the world and gave you nothing. And once you have tried the paste for a few weeks, come back and tell me what happened, because the stories you all share teach the women watching next month more than I ever could. I read everyone. Next time, since we talked about what goes on your skin, I am going to show you 5 makeup techniques that professional artists use on mature skin that beauty influencers never demonstrate. How we set foundation without baking it into wrinkles, the concealer trick for under eyes that stays put past noon, and a blush placement that wakes up the whole face without looking overdone. It is the natural next step after today. Until then, mix the paste, wear the sunscreen, and let the old Korean grandmother's recipe do the quiet work the expensive serums never could.